Right, I'm going to try something slightly different this year. I've got Jack here. He's a designer at 22 Cans, and we're going to kind of do a double act.
Why not?
Yeah,
let's give it a go.
That's how design works. Is about discussing ideas. So we thought we'd do a bit of this on stage. And what I'm going to be talking about is a game which we've been working on since January of this year, and it's a game called Godus. It's in absolute evolution. We're evolving this game, as opposed to designing this game. We're evolving it because we're cooperating all of you. Anyway, let's start off, and I'm going to kick off by just going back and telling you why I'm doing Godus. I absolutely love what I do. I love being a designer. I love making games that are out there to play. I love being involved in it. It's an incredible amount of hard work. But when I look at my games, and it's interesting, let's just see. First game I did was, anybody in the room played Populous? Few people. Gosh, you look very young. How could you possibly play it? Anyone play Powermonger? Less people, you see. What about Syndicate? Anyone played Syndicate? A lot more people. That was the first game that had miniguns in. We used to be able to, in the old days of computer games, we used to be able to minigun anything we liked. Puppies, babies in prams. That was the days of, where we could do anything we liked on that. Magic Carpet, Theme Park, High Octane. Anyone play High Octane? No way. I don't believe you. And then I moved to Lionhead, Black and White. Anybody play Black and White? Okay. And then Black and White 2, the movies. Fable. Anyone play Fable? Yeah. So my idea of leaving Microsoft and setting up this new company, my idea was this. Why not take a genre, the genre that created me, which was the God game genre, why not reinvent that God game genre? And that is our passion, that's our dedication, that's our focus, but reinvent it in a way that uses all of this crazy, crazy technology that we've got at the moment. And that crazy technology is things like multi-device. I want to play my games anywhere. I want to play them on PC, I want to play them on console, I want to play them on handheld, I want to play them on mobile, on tablets, on Google Glass. I want to have the brain implant, I'm playing it in my brain. And if you're really going to think about what that means when you're playing games everywhere, you've got to start from the ground up. I love this new world of being connected, of everyone being connected together. And in fact, this crazy experiment, which was one of the first times I introduced it, was on this stage, this time last year, called Curiosity. Anyone crazy enough to tap on Curiosity? Oh, bad luck you didn't win, but it was an interesting experiment. And that was an experiment with connecting anybody. So my idea was to get us all together and to recreate the God game genre. Because I think it's a genre which started me in the games industry. I love God games. I love this idea, this basic idea of having a little world. Just think of that, a little living world with people in it that love me. I love being loved. As a gamer, I like my game characters to like me. And having these little people that love me would be important. I love the fact that we can use technology and use it in a completely different way. But also because I hated, loathed, detested the idea that God games that created me in the industry, that games like Farmville and Cityvilles were being described as God games. No, they're not God games. I don't know what they are, but they're certainly not God games. They're not full of little people that love me. They tend to be full of little people that want money from me, lots of money from me, which is okay, but, Anyway, that got me very incensed and caused me to leave Microsoft and start 22 Cans. So what are God games? What are we trying to create? Firstly, an open world. It's not, a God game shouldn't be a game where it says to the player, do this, then do this, then do this. That's objective-led gameplay. It's brilliant for Call of Duty. I love that. You know, I love those corridors in Call of Duty. Nothing wrong with that. But open-ended, discovery-based gameplay. Now, we've already released Godus on something called Early Access. I don't know, has anyone played Godus on Early Access? Well done. Oh, my God. It's quite a lot of you. I'm worried now. I love, and what we tried on Early Access, we tried to implement this open world. We've already learned different ways which we never thought was possible of people playing. People have already done crazy things, and this is what emergent gameplay is. It's to allow freedom, allow you the freedom to approach a problem in any way you like. Based on a simulation, so that everything in the world is simulated, that everything in the world can notice the way that you play, connecting people together, having these epic motivations, not, you know, go here, do this, but more become this, do this grand thing, and have incredible multiplayer. So those are all the things that we're trying to do at the moment. But what we're also trying to do is take the best bits from some of the games that I've worked on before. Now, Populous was, you know, more a surprise to me that it was successful than anyone else. And it was okay, but the interface was just atrocious. In fact, we have a look at it now to remind everyone. This was Populous back in the day, and as you can see, you've got a landscape that you can change the landscape. The AI of the little people you see in here was 20 lines of code and done when I was drunk one night. I also wanted, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I also want to go back and look at the multiplayer in Dungeon Keeper. I thought the idea of being able to modify the land as you played against each other was really exciting. But again, the interface in Dungeon Keeper was very crude. I think there was far too many units and there was far too much spamming that could go on. But I loved the building mechanic and the kind of, not just the speed of it, but also the idea that you couldn't just immediately fight together, and Jack will be talking a little bit about that in a minute. And also, while we're waiting for this, the open world and the kind of the open worldness and the simulation of black and white. So if Godus is a function of taking these different elements and putting them together, how can we use that? Well, one of the things that we're going to use as well is the experiment of curiosity, the idea of connecting hundreds of thousands of people together simultaneously. So that's where we start from in Godus. Let's now take a little look at the game. Jack, do you want to come over and demo while I talk? Okay. Jack started, when did you start at 22 Cans?
15, 16 months ago, really early on, when we were just starting up the first kind of inspiration for Curiosity. Yeah. Which sounded insane at the time. And then when I realized why we were doing Curiosity, when you think about the idea that every one of those little cubelets was essentially a value between 0 and 1, it's either there or it's not there. And that actually ended up being the basis for how our land sculpting mechanic works. Yeah. And then being able to have tens of thousands of people multiply connected to that as well.
So here we are. This is the Godus world as in fact, this is version 1.3. We're releasing this on Tuesday. And this is the world as it stands at the moment. We are every week we're going to be doing an update, and there's some radical changes that are going on. But let's just firstly introduce you to the basics of the gameplay. This house up here, inside this house is one of my followers. As I said, these followers love and adore me and they obey me, but you as a god have a choice of whether you control them directly or you let them use their own motivation. So we'll give you the most basic gameplay, and the most basic gameplay is this world. If you zoom out a little bit, this world is utterly deformable. Every surface you see is deformable by you. And we've been working on this for quite some time. We're refining it all the time. So as you see, Jack has he's just pulling the landscape out. There's a little pool of water here. We fully support dynamic water, so water will flow down and create waterfalls. At the start of the game, that doesn't seem to matter at all. As the game goes on, water will be a resource. You'll need to use that water resource to help your little people, like farming and build factories. Right, everyone, thank you very much indeed, and thank you for looking at this. It is available on Steam Early Access, as I said. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and thank you, Peter Molyneux.